You guys remember this light bar I made out of scrap junk I had laying around? This was a packing bar off a front loader washing machine. These are just a couple of angle brackets that I have that I welded, and then these are some magnets that I bolted on the bottom. These are interior spotlights, the kind you would put in a track light, but they are MR16s. They are 12 volt MR16s, and they're 50 watts each. So if you haven't watched the original video, I'll do a quick recap. As I built these to go on that 73 Gilson tractor as auxiliary lighting. I put the magnets narrow enough to where I could magnet to the top of the hood and use it as snowplow lighting, right? Because when I hook the snowplow up to the front of that Gilson tractor, it blocks the original headlights. And then these sit perfectly above. It's kind of worked out pretty cool. They're perfectly above the original headlights on the tractor, and they sit up probably 10 or 11 inches above it. So I put these guys in because I had these laying around forever and ever. But here's the drawback. Let me show you the drawback. While the lighting is nice, the problem I had was that I melted it. Since it's auxiliary lighting, it's not going to be hardwired in. I'm going to use a cigarette port, and the cigarette port that's on the tractor, and use a cig lighter. Well, the original cig lighter I had melted because it pulls. Let's see if you can see this. I've got it set up to a battery charger right now. Right now it's pulling 7.09 amps DC. Good golly, I've got it on the 55 amp charge. So that's kind of a drawback, considering that the alternator, the charging alternator on that tractor is about 3 amps. If I remember correctly, it's a 3 amp charger, and I don't want to be pulling a negative charge on the battery or overtaxing. You gotta shut that off. Or overtaxing the charging system and creating any issues that way. So in walks the solution. While this puts out nice light, and actually I'll do a light throw comparison here in a minute. But let me show you what I got. I found this electrical supplier online that had these guys. They're rated at, I can't remember what the specs were. They're just under 400 lumen, which is probably ridiculously overrated anyhow. But they are, let's see what they pull. They are LED lights. Look at that. And these are MR16 direct replacement. Where are you? There you are, MR16 direct replacement. Okay, they probably work better if you don't drop them. Now that one rolled underneath the workbench. Okay, let's see if I can break a second one. Oh, son of a bitch. Ooh, see, I almost spit out of my hand. They're slippery little sons of a gunses. So they've got these neat little cooling fins on the outside here, which is kind of cool. They're MR16, which is a bi-pin direct replacement. So I'll be able to pop these guys out, and wait, there. And I'll put these guys in, and Redneck Brian, hey buddy, I know you watch my videos. Originally when I did the comparison, I was using some other MR16 LEDs I had that were a bright white. And you had mentioned about the reflection on the snow, and I remembered that when I ordered these, and these are warm white. They're supposed to have the same lumens as a bright white, but they have a yellower color spectrum, so they don't glare so bad on the snow. Since in theory these are going to be secondary lights for the snow. So there you go, Brian. Thanks for the heads up on that. I had kind of had that in the back of my mind when I was putting these together. These are cool aluminum fins. So let's do a light throw comparison. So here I'm standing at the door of the workshop, and it's pitch black. See, there's nothing. And if I roll them up, these are the quartz halogen. 100 watts worth of light, although it pulls quite a bit of amperage. Let's see if we can get attacked by a skunk while we're out here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a swap of these guys, and we'll see the difference in light. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a hot swap. I found, oh, you know what, I don't remember which one I dropped, but it had rolled underneath the bench into a corner somewhere. So I'll show you how easy it is to replace these guys, and ooh, they're a bit warm. Ooh, baby. Like I said, thanks Brian, Redneck Brian, for keeping my head in the game about snow reflection. So we'll see how, let me set that over there because that's very warm. Anyway, for snow reflection, we'll see how these warm white lights, direct pins, look at that. Awesome possum. There it is. Oh, that looks so cool. You see that? See how easy that was? Let's replicate this process. Alright, so we have the amp meter hooked up to the two LED lights. And let's turn them on and see what happens. Oh, look at that. 3/4 of an amp. Now that's cool. I can run with that all day long with the tractor running and still have a positive charge. Just over 2 amps of positive charge, about 2 1/4. And even if I were to turn the engine off and use this light to do some work, it's not like that's such a big draw on the battery that I couldn't have, who knows, maybe half hour, 45 minutes of this light before it was even an issue to restart that, because I do have that vehicle battery in there. Well, that's pretty cool. So let's go outside and let's check, let's do a light comparison. So here we are. I'm standing in the same spot, shooting the light bar in the same place. See, we're totally black outside. And I roll them up. You know, that's not bad. That's definitely not as bright as the halogens. There's definitely a yellowness. I don't know if you can see that, how well you see that. There's definitely a yellowness to this light, which is what I wanted, the warm white. Redneck Brian, thanks buddy. That should be easier on the driver's, operator's eyeballs when he's on the tractor and that snow is glazing. From me to the greenhouse is probably, to the closest corner of the greenhouse is probably 20 feet. That's not bad. And the greenhouse is 12 feet long, so the farthest end, well, you can do the math, 32 feet. Pretty good throw. It'll work. It'll work for what I gotta use it for. And at a fraction of the cost. So there you go, LED versus halogen. Thanks for watching.